Hey everyone, how is everyone doing on this Sunday night, 2025, December 1923? What the hell am I saying? Losing my fucking mind over here. It's November 23rd, 2025. No, I'm not doing, I'm not repeating myself. Um, I guess my brain cells are dying faster. Is that what it is? Um, I can't believe it's Sunday night. Cause just the 2 days, like went by. Man, the weekend just goes by so fast. And the weekday doesn't. It just drags on, man. Starting Monday, it just drags on and on and on and on. Oh my freaking God. No, actually, time goes by exponentially as you age. I think all these things are just built into our body, our mind, in addition to our circadian rhythm, right? Well, I mean, circadian rhythm has nothing to do with this. All right? I'm just talking about when when I was mm, 13. A year was so fucking long, man. Oh my fucking God. Remember? Even like a month, winter or summer doesn't matter, right? Springtime was the best. Fall wasn't bad either. But the the time component of our lives, all right, it has that exponential curve, right? It's not a straight line at 45 degree in the graph, on the graph. And that's exactly why people who are older, all right, people who are older, because of all I, these built-in, you know, systems in our human bodies, right? Also animal bodies, and to an extent, probably trees and plants that, somehow they make us realize that, oh, you know what, it's this that time of our lives where we're not going to get any younger, all right? So what's going to happen next? Oh, we're going to go into grave, all right? And then somehow our bodies basically, even psychologically, I think we just make us prepare psychologically for that event, the big black hole, right? All right, let's not talk about end of life conversations. Right? I'm just saying, time is just flying so fast. You know. All right. So what's the verdict? Well, there's no verdict. All right. Verdict is that you got to spend your time in the best way possible in this life. Are you doing that? Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm just trying. I guess like anybody else. There are people who are unfortunate, who don't even have means to live a normal life. I mean, I'm not trying to act like or sound like some sort of a, you know, oh, let's make a change in those people's lives, sort of, person. My wife is wearing the jacket my friend gave, right? The heated one. Obviously, she's going through this in her life. Not the jacket, but, helps. I never wore it because it didn't really wasn't focusing on my sciatica, which was at the bottom of my feet, right? I mean, not bottom of my legs, which is calves, and the whatever, right? My lower back. That thought still sort of lingers, lurks in my mind. And that fucking year, which was last year, I had to go through this whole fucking experience all of a sudden. Obviously, my own making, right? You don't go to fucking bars and like start dancing after like playing 11 holes, man. You know, yeah, that's what happened. I'm not saying that's exactly what caused sciatica. I think it was just basically, it was just a trigger somehow the next day. I hope I didn't fall from the fucking couch because I was sleeping on the couch and that soft, surface, all these things. In any case, okay, I'm not justifying one or the other. All right. But we are susceptible to all these things in our lives as we and our bodies age. Man, that's real. So live your life. Right? Stop complaining about chicken shit. But I do complain about the fucking weather. I was out with friends, a friend of mine, and then other guys Friday night. We were talking about exact same thing. But in any case, so being in a place like New York and New Jersey for so fucking long, just I'm going to become a snowbird, if I could, if I wish. And speaking of which, it's sort of also depressing. It seems like our neighbors here on this floor, they're selling their apartments. I think they're on the market. Obviously, who's going to afford this fucking HOA? So much special assessment, right? And we got to make some sort of make a move, in the next few months. In any case, all right, positive. Let's stay on positive note. We did some cooking. My wife cooked some goat soups, broth. She did a job. And then I cooked some pasta. And I dragged her out to the fucking, right by the water. It's like I'm a maniac, right? It's so fucking windy and cold. And, I'm trying to set up a fucking golf flag, right? Set up a fucking green so I can hit some balls. And it was so fucking windy. But I found a spot here, right you know, by actually in the park, which is Liberty Park. There you go. You can listen to this. Create your own improvised golf course. There you go. What else is going on? Well, listen, Thanksgiving is coming up. I don't think we are going anywhere. Nobody's invited us, man. Nobody likes us. Nobody likes me. I shouldn't say that about my wife. I don't know. I mean, I don't think we can. We are not in a position to go anywhere. Travel even like an hour. I don't think we can. I don't know. I'm just saying. We're just gonna stay here. All right. We're gonna cook our own whatever. I will go to a Chinese restaurant, get some Chinese food, order some Chinese food, man. There's nothing wrong with that. Right? It's like the Jewish people go to Chinese restaurants, right, on Christmas Day. Is that what it is? Or Muslims? I have no idea. In any case, I am going to talk about same shit, basically. I'm sorry. Nothing special. I mean, there's nothing. It's the same. I mean, it's the same. I mean, it's just Sunday. Although it sounds like, feels like it's Saturday, but how psychologically these days are synced with our minds. All right, that's the routine. Being a cog in the wheel, man. You gotta do it. You gotta do the grind, man. And then comes Friday, you gotta go out, have a couple of beers, whatever the fuck, right? Don't drink too much. Don't fucking stay out too late. But one thing I was looking at, all right, uh, I think you have to press it for 3 seconds. Press it for 3 seconds. That's it. Can you charge that battery? If you need to, you but we have to get a heating pad for you. For the lower, yeah, no, for the lower back you need a heating pad. So this jacket is not going to do anything. It's on battery. Okay. In any case, all right. I don't want to argue with my wife right now about the heating pad. All right. So you know how the whole fucking AI thing, and I was trying to download some sort of a software because you know how you can actually apparently make videos with AI. So I was hoping that I could download a software right on my phone, something like AI video generator, right? And you Google that shit, and then all these kinds of fucking apps. None of them are like free. All right. They want you to subscribe, obviously, right? Gazillion other subscriptions you have. And what's the purpose of that? I don't know. Maybe I just want to make that as a hobby. No? And it's true that I did want to produce some sort of a film, like a feature film, you know. Oh my fucking god, I wrote something actually back in the days, right? I like a script. And then I used to go to these like independent movie like after sessions, right, with the producers and the directors. And I would try to like talk to them, right, down in Soho. There's a theater called Angelica Theater, right, on Broadway. And then there's another one, independent, whatever the fuck it is, right, film, something that's on, I think on West Houston Street in Manhattan. And then I gave up. See how what happens? You know, your balloon basically just fucking, loses the air. What the fuck am I saying? You know, just like you have all these ideas when you're young, you know, in your 30s, right? Before you're 35, 36, 37, 38. And then none of that happens. And then it just, same thing with music. You know, I wanted to produce some songs and I wanted to become a, you can't be a musician and you have to basically do it from the beginning. Same thing with any fucking job you want to take up, you have to do it from the beginning. If that's what you want to make it as a career. Hobbies are different, all right? But if you want to earn money, you know, make a living for yourself, that's next week, not this week, not next week. I mean the holiday weekend, right? Not that one, but after. I think I'm going to do. I'm going to sign up for the podcast, not podcast. Sorry, what the fuck am I saying? For the stand up. All right, I'm going to do it. I don't care. I don't care what you guys say. I don't care. I'm going to try. I'll prepare some material. Okay. If I make people laugh, I'll make them laugh. If I can't, then it's okay. I'll try again. Life is all about time, man. Oh, really? Like at the age of 52, you're going to start this shit? I don't know. I think the other depressing part as you grow older is retirement. Me and my friend were talking about, but here's the thing, right? I don't think I'm going to ever retire. I'll be working with half of my body down in underground with a computer on my whatever, on my deathbed. I don't know. I mean, what would be the regret that I would feel if I say, oh man, I wanted to do this before I go? What would it be? Well, I guess that's also a loaded question, you know? I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think we should think in that way. But one thing for sure is that you want to make amends with the people that you have had like strained relationships, right? Unless you really don't want to, that's different. I mean, in your family and all right, make sure. Uh, what the fuck am I talking about? I'm just saying, all right? But what is really interesting is really nothing interesting, to be honest with you. I mean, I mean, sometimes I feel like, why our lives are so fucking boring. I mean, I'm not complaining. I shouldn't be complaining, but I'm saying that. Okay, so I can't. I went to the fucking place, to hit some balls, and then the fucking weather is limits your mobility in this fucking town. All right, and then what is it you want to do? Why are you so discontent, man? Is that even a word? Is that the appropriate word I'm saying for myself? Unfulfilled discontent. Like something I feel like is under six layers of my fucking whatever, in my brain layers, right? That wants to surface like a fucking lava and do something creative, but I don't fucking idea. I don't know. All right. I mean, I talk about like, okay, I was even looking at the fucking jets and drones again, So I want to fly those, but then you can't. And this like this fucking world is so like sometimes I feel like against you about almost everything. You know? That's why I think I kind of like the idea of government not being in your fucking life. Less government, the better. Less bureaucracy is better. Less control, much better. Um, in any case, peace of mind, man. You got a peace of mind. Yeah. I mean, you are not in your 20s to say, hey, man, I want to get my, private pilot license. Although still want to. My wife is ready to shoot me, but I still want to because I think that's the future. I want these fucking flying cars to be real, you know, so that we don't get stuck in fucking traffic for hours and hours. And it's just so fucking stupid. We don't have them yet, you know? Eh, any case, all right. Uh, 21 minutes, everyone. Can we be a little positive? I don't know. What's there? Okay, well, what are you guys going to have on Thanksgiving? Turkey? I don't like turkey meat, all right? But um, it's going to be some sort of a leap of faith, all right, for these humans, for us humans. And I understand some of these companies are taking initiative. And is the state of Arkansas still doing it? Because Arkansas has a lot of land, you can basically just experiment with, like, flying cars instead of, you know, just cars on the road. Well, let's come up with some traffic rules for the air traffic. All right, let's create some lanes, intersection lanes, and this is where you had to go, and this is where you can't go. All right, flyovers, and then you have to basically, when you're flying forward, make sure you're on the right side and the other people on your left side. All right, same fucking rules, except we have one more dimension. Am I making it sound like so easy? I know it's not easy, but hey, it's not. It's not impossible. All right. So there you go. That's my biggest dream for humans. All right. Because I can see everybody miserable, fucking stuck in traffic. Jesus fucking Christ. Every morning, every evening, every fucking hour. In any case, all right, I rest my case, humans. I rest my case, humans. Yeah, well, you are human too. I know I got stuck too in the fucking traffic, and I hate that. That's one reason, me and my wife have been looking at these properties. We've been talking to our real estate agent to find some nice house, small house we can afford with a backyard where I can just sit outside and smoke some fucking cigars at night, look at the stars. You can see the stars. And at least feel like I'm in a home instead of in a fucking apartment. Up and down, you are like, state. You know, what kind of life is this? Fucking Christ. And I was just babbling, it's like, so this is what it forces you, which actually I didn't do it, and many people in my, family. I mean, my brother did it. He married at the age of 30, and that I mean, maybe he did it a little too early, but if you're a man by the age of 35, 36, you should be a little serious if you want to get into a relationship. And instead of partying every fucking weekend, if you okay, all right, I'm not saying that I partied, and yeah, there are many ways to, like, look at these things, but what I'm saying is that if I found someone at that time, you know then I would have basically just moved on, and I would have already been in a fucking house by now. Maybe semi-retired, sitting on the porch, backyard. My wife's looking at me. That's true. I mean, because once you have that lifestyle that forces you to change your own current lifestyle, that was the way, that is the way of the things, that's the way of life, that's the way of the human life to live. But again, the flip side of the coin, you would say, hey man, okay, yeah, I would have loved to meet somebody at the age of 35, 36, but then I couldn't find anyone, and I just didn't happen, and I walk over. Yeah, that I agree with you. Okay, it's just up here in fucking Northeast, it's just a fucking disaster. You can't find anyone. Relationships are it's just pretty hard, extremely hard to actually. In a city like New York, I mean, people are expecting, they more expect more from you than they think of themselves as like, oh, we are better than you. I'm talking about young ones, especially, right? And then later on, it's like, yeah, you know what? I want the same thing that you do. However, what if there's no trust, after years and years of living alone, and then try to find love, and then it's just the trust is not there. You know, so that's also hard because people don't trust each other. All right, that's the other fucking problem in the Western world. You know, and what? I don't want to fucking talk about this. All right, I'm just saying that maybe I'm just looking at my own. I'm analyzing my own life. Okay, I'm not analyzing anybody's life. My own. All right. And maybe if anybody, three of my listeners, anybody who's young, who's listening to me, maybe they would think, hey, maybe certain age you have to take certain steps, especially if you want to start a family and all this. And I'm not preaching to any fucking choir. I'm just saying, based on my own fucking experience, the mistakes I made. All right. But then, yeah, don't be in a fucking black hole of like, oh, I can't find it. I mean, I tried actually. I did try, but then it didn't work back in the days, like relationships and all that. But I'm fine with my life. I'm just saying that this, like, moving from a fucking apartment to a house should have happened at least 10 years ago for me. You know. But then, should have, would have, could have, right? In any case, all right, everyone. Let's again end the conversation on a positive note. Um, take whatever you can take from whatever the fuck I'm talking about, especially all you young people. I'm not saying that don't you be desperate to find someone and don't. That's even fucking worse. That's even fucking worse to be in a relationship just to show to the world that, oh, hey man, hey woman, hey lady, I'm in a relationship. And oh my god, so finally he found some. Oh my god, she's married. Oh my god, look at them. And then a couple of years down the road, right, it's like a fucking bad relationship. Oh my god. Some people do that actually, and that's not good either. Just for the sake of I'm not saying that there isn't love, but maybe there's some love, but then it just, I don't know. That's also there. And that's the other thing why people don't want to get into serious relationships because, again, it's finding that one person. It's, you have to do a lot of compromises. You have to basically say, yeah, I mean, I like you, you like me, so let's just make it work. Right? Some things I understand, if you can't compromise, then that's it. It's, you got to leave the relationship. All right, what the fuck am I doing here? Am I turning this my podcast into some sort of relationship like discussion? Who am I? I'm not an expert. All right, just experience. I'm all I'm saying. All right, that's all. All right, everyone. Happy holidays. Happy turkey. And speaking of which, I feel bad for turkeys. You're gonna slaughter how many turkeys on this fucking day? Huh? These turkeys, you can actually see them. If you go to a golf course in Staten Island right now, you can see they are actually all over the fucking golf course. Besides the fucking stupid geese and ducks. Geese actually, not ducks. I feel bad for them. Well, what can you do? I mean, slaughter. Slaughter, that's our tradition. And then what you gonna do? Like, oh my god, Black Friday. Black Friday. Oh my god, you go hold all the fucking, shopping gifts for everyone. Oh my god. I was talking to my brother. Actually, he's in Montreal. All right. How the hell did he end up in Montreal from Sweden? Okay, so Montreal. I was telling him, he just landed there. He's working there, obviously. So Montreal is a big like shopping spree, Christmas shopping spree town. By the way, a lot of people go up there to buy stuff because it's just cheap. How is that cheap? I don't think Canadian dollar is cheap. I was like, why don't people go to fucking, I don't know, some other country where the dollar is cheap? Not dollar, but your local currency. But Montreal is a big shopping town before Christmas. All right. Listen, I'm so sorry, but I don't think I'm buying anything for anybody. I don't think I'm expecting anybody to buy me anything. I mean, I don't, but we'll be just chilling, me and my wife here, right? That's it, which is fine. We might go out. I don't, depending on how she feels. Maybe Friday or Saturday, we'll meet up with my sister and my brother-in-law. Maybe friends. Friday, obviously, is maybe Saturday. All right, everyone. Uh, Happy holiday, and I'll see you all next week.